Today, we're diving into something pretty special, a concept from one of the longest living communities on the entire planet. We're talking about Ikigai, the Okinawan secret to a long and, more importantly, a purposeful life. Okay, let's just start with a number 68 per 100,000. Now, that might not mean much on its own, but trust me, it points to something absolutely extraordinary. This is the rate of people in Okinawa, Japan who live to be 100 years old or even older. We're talking about a global hotspot for longevity here. And to really wrap your head around that, let's compare it to, say, the United States. Here, we have roughly 10 centenarians for every 100,000 people. So, do the math. That means Okinawa's rate is nearly 7 times higher. This isn't just a random statistic, It's a huge clue that they're onto a fundamentally different way of living. So, of course, that leads us to the big question, right? The one we're really going to unpack today. What on earth is their secret? What are they doing that's so different that leads to not just a long life, but a vibrant, healthy one? Well, the answer, and this might surprise you, it doesn't start with some miracle diet or a grueling exercise plan. Nope, it begins with a philosophy, something right at the very heart of their culture. It all comes down to a single, powerful concept: Ikigai. So what exactly is Ikigai? Well, it's this beautiful Japanese term that roughly translates to a reason for being. And look, it's got nothing to do with being rich or famous. It's about that thing that gives your life real purpose. It's the reason you jump out of bed in the morning full of energy and ready to go. And this simple idea, it's the absolute foundation of the Okinawa mindset. To make this a little less, abstract, people often think of Ikigai as the sweet spot where 4 key things overlap. So you've got, what do you love to do? What are you good at? What does the world need? And what can you actually get paid for? The idea is, if you can find that one thing that sits right in the middle of all 4 of those, well, that's where you'll find your Ikigai. And this quote from a 102-year-old Okinawan fisherman it says it all, doesn't it? He says, "My Ikigai is to fish and bring it to my family to eat. I do this every day." See, it's not some grand, world-changing ambition. It's simple, it's daily, and it's a deeply meaningful purpose, providing for his family. That is his reason to get up every single morning. But here's the thing, this amazing philosophy of purpose, it doesn't just exist in a bubble. It's actually supported by a very distinct lifestyle. So now let's take a look at the daily practices that really let this idea of Ikigai flourish. We can kind of break these practices down into 3 main pillars. First up, their diet, which is about way more than just calories. Second, their whole approach to daily movement. And third, something really powerful and unique, their deep community bonds. All right, let's start with their diet. And man, the contrast with a typical Western diet is just stark. The Okinawan diet is mostly plant-based, packed with nutrient-dense stuff like sweet potatoes and tofu, but the real game changer here is this philosophy they call Hara. It means eating only until you're about 80% full. It's this incredibly mindful practice that prevents overeating and just takes so much stress off the body. Okay, pillar number 2 is movement, but probably not in the way you're thinking. Forget about intense, hour-long gym sessions. The Okinawan way is all about constant, gentle activity that's just woven into their daily life. Things like gardening, taking a walk, or even traditional dance. The goal isn't to get exhausted. It's just to stay active all day long. And that brings us to the 3rd pillar. And honestly, this might be the most powerful one of all. It's all captured in another single Okinawan word, moai. So, what's a moai? Think of it as your lifelong friend group. It's a social support network that you're basically born into. These groups stick together for life, supporting each other emotionally, socially, and sometimes even financially. Imagine having that kind of stability. This deep sense of belonging is a powerful weapon against loneliness and stress, which we know are huge factors in how we age. So, what's the takeaway from all this? I mean, what can we learn? The real power here is figuring out how to apply these lessons no matter where we live. It all comes down to finding your own source of purpose. And that brings us right back to that central question, but this time it's for you. Seriously, what is your Ikigai? What's the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning? What gives you that sense of purpose? Just take a second and really think about it. And please, remember this. Your Ikigai does not have to be your job. It absolutely doesn't. It can be found in raising your kids, tending to a garden, volunteering for a cause you believe in, or mastering a creative skill. It's it's whatever brings you that deep, authentic feeling of meaning and joy. Because in the end, the Okinawan secret isn't really about chasing more years for the sake of it. It's about building a life so rich with purpose, with community, and with meaning that a long, healthy life just becomes the natural result. So maybe the real question isn't how to live longer, but how to live more fully, starting right now.